case or a story or two that might
Yeah.
be inspirational?
Yeah.
You know, someone who seemed like, forget it, this person's done, and they somehow came back.
Yeah, let me give you an analogy. So again, when I was a medical student, as I say, in the Middle Ages, patients would often get 3 to 6 weeks of strict bed rest because it was thought the heart was like tissue paper. Oh, you could tear it and die. And in fact, 1/3 of people did die during that first month. And so gradually we realized, and partly because of people like Samuel Levine and Paul Dudley White, both in Boston, one at the Mass General, one at the Brigham, it was realized that exercise was actually a good idea, but that it had to be, gradually assumed and so forth. So in those days, patients really went home and just sat around waiting, there's going to be like a lightning bolt and I'm going to be dead. And of course, it did often happen like that. What has happened over the years is now I tell patients, I have individuals who survived 20 and 30 years and 40 years after a heart attack, and they're still doing great. But it wasn't the people who did all the wrong things. It was the people who got what a friend of mine calls the cholesterol religion, woke up and said, no more cigarettes. I'm going to start eating right. I'm going to start exercising regularly. I'm going to take my medicines. I'm going to go to the doctor regularly to be checked to make sure that there are no warning signs here that need to be taken care of. So I had one man, I remember this very, very clearly. This was when I've been now 25 years at the University of Arizona. And within the first year, a man came in who was a diabetic and had been a cigarette, and was actively still smoking. And he had a substantial heart attack. He hadn't come in right away when he was supposed to come in. He had thought it was indigestion or arthritis. So he had a significant injury to his heart. So his heart function was substantially reduced. And I remember talking to him. He and his wife were tearful. Well, this is the end. He was a, fella in his early 50s. So just in the last 6 months, he died at age 85, okay? He had done perfectly the whole time. He didn't have heart failure symptoms. He was playing golf. He had a wonderful lifestyle because he stopped smoking. He lost weight. He exercised regularly. He actually had a tendency to be very anxious and nervous, so he used to do daily meditation. He did all the things that are recommended, and he lived for 35 years after a substantial heart attack. So the message is, it isn't like cancer that's riddled throughout your body. Get your will and start buying your cemetery plot. You have a heart attack, there's a lot you can do so that you can live a long time and see your grandchildren graduate from high school, graduate from college, get married, and maybe even see your great-grandchildren. So it's not a hopeless thing, and especially these days, it's definitely something that with all the scientific medicine we have, you really can have a nearly normal or essentially normal lifestyle.